Back by popular demand, a malt liquor video. What you know about that? You heard me? So all the time I get comments, malt liquor, malt liquor, malt liquor. When's a malt liquor video coming? What you know about that? So I'll say, well, I was talking to Maria Devon, the girl next door, and I said, I think I have to go buy a malt liquor because people keep clamoring for it. And she said, give the people what they want. And like she said, I'm a carnival barker. And I am, to some extent, deep speculative beer theory erudite carnival barker. So bienvenue in Louisiana. Old English 800 brand malt liquor. This is a 24-ounce can. It has a Best By date, March 14, 2016. Got the date, guys. They say it's going to be 65 degrees today here. There's hardly any clouds in the sky. I think it's going to get up to 70 degrees, frankly. This was made in Albany, Georgia on a Sunday. This beer goes back to the 1940s. It was Ruff's Old English malt liquor, then somehow it was 600 brand stout malt liquor, and then around 1964 it became Old English 800 brand malt liquor. Why 800? I don't know, you tell me. I don't know, no one could figure that out. Enough head of foam for ye. So I guess you could do these malt liquor videos all the time. A chugscussion, like one of my favorite video blogger theorists talks about, SS. Okay, that's his initials. You will look up chugscussion and you will see his interesting theory videos. Oh, it is mostly clear golden, and there is an enormous amount of powdery sediment in this beer. Why? The bobsled from Wasatch was claimed to be unfiltered, and it was clearer than this, which is filtered. I remember back in the 90s, Old English 800 would say charcoal filtered when it was a Pabst brand. Here's a can from around, I don't know, because I believe this is back, it's probably 16 years old, after the Miller buyout, because it's saying Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Old English 800 Brewing Company. And I know the Pabst configurated cans were saying charcoal filtered. I love the style of the can. It's got the little crowns. It's got the same color scheme. That's why I'm wearing Loyola of New Orleans. The brick red and the gold. We get the now I gotta start drinking. We get the 18-ounce bottles here. And what, may you ask, is a malt liquor? It's a strong beer, or relatively strong, since the mainstream Old English 800 is only 5.9% alcohol, 7.5 in much of California, although I was looking on a San Francisco Bay Area distributing and they had it listed at 5.9. If you go to some places like Texas, I bought this at Mercado de Familia. Gotta dust my cans and bottles. On US Highway 90 in Beaumont, Texas. This is Old English 800, Old English HG 800 high gravity malt liquor, 8%. And this is apparently the same recipe that they get in Canada, because I was looking on the LCBO website and they're listing it at 8%, and it's saying imported. So it's probably using this recipe, which was introduced in 2001, and they're bringing it into Canada. So over there in the Dominion of Canada, in that realm, they're selling it high gravity version as the regular Old English 800. Here's a can. I bought this can, Old English 800, Old English HG 800 high gravity malt liquor. That's a mouthful. I bought this can on the old US Highway 90 Commerce Boulevard in San Antonio, Texas, just about 2, 3, 4 blocks east of the Alamo Dome when I went to see Tulane University Roll Wave playing at the University of Texas at San Antonio. And that was a very interesting game, except for the bad part of Tulane losing. But now this is saying 04, the code is 04, so that must be, let's see, 04 is Fort Worth, Texas, or is 07 Fort Worth? One is Milwaukee, one is Fort Worth, Texas. There's a huge Miller brewery in Fort Worth along US Highway 287. By the way, I mean, you can see it. They don't give tours there, though, unfortunately. Look at that beautiful lacing. This beer gets a 0 out of 100 on rate beer, or 3 out of 100 for the style. Imagine a 3 out of 100 for the style. So not only did they say it's a horrible malt liquor, I mean a horrible beer overall, it's a horrifically bad malt liquor. And Beer Advocate and the Bros say it's awful, their worst score. Now, I wrote down some descriptions of this 50-plus year old product of various recipes and ABVs. Yeah, and Miller, this is 160 calories here at the 5.9, and Miller is saying that there is a 3.2% by weight version that's sold in Oklahoma. Always say a little prayer when I hear that siren, because I figure somebody got in a bad wreck. And I've had discussions with people from Oklahoma, and they're telling me I'm wrong, and I'm saying no, I'm not. 3.2% alcohol by weight is about 4. It averages out to 4% alcohol by volume. You just look on MillerCoors or Anheuser-Busch InBev, and they very clearly explain that to you. The 3.2 beers, and I believe that's what's sold to the U.S. Army, is 4% alcohol by volume, the normal estimation. And you drink enough 4%, so you're going to feel it. I was drinking the 4% bobsled earlier this morning, and I could feel the alcohol. I could feel it. And I had coffee earlier in the morning and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I mean, I was feeling it. And if you look at that video carefully, you're going to notice I'm trying to compensate for slurring. I'm saying you know, I'm saying and then the flavor note. So you'll notice sometimes I'll try to cover. But anyway, and I'm telling you right now, I'm only going to drink 4 beers per day. Today, my day off, one of the days off, I drink the bobsled, 12 ounces. This is 24 ounces, so this is 2, so that's 3, and then 1 more this evening. I might do a review. Now they're saying on the SAB Miller website that it has a smooth, somebody's calling, rich taste and slightly fruity aroma and assertive alcoholic aftertaste. Okay, so let's think about that. Slightly fruity aroma. Yeah, I can see that. Now on the LCBO website, they're saying fruity banana and pear and a hint of grain aroma. Banana and pear. Yeah, maybe Bartlett pears. And just your Chiquita bananas. Grain, yeah. I think maybe. Now when it was charcoal filtered, it was different. When Pabst had it, it was just different. They turned it over to Miller in 1999. They say it's full-bodied. I don't know about full-bodied, but it's definitely got body. It's probably high, medium. And the high gravity version, 8%, 7.5. I've never had the California variant. I'm sure planning to try it one day. Would be high, medium, and low heavy. A touch of sweetness. Well, there's definitely a touch of sweetness. After all, they're saying 3 out of 5 sugar cubes on the SAB Miller website using the Cyclops scale. 3 out of 5 sugar cubes, and but it's not overwhelmingly sweet. You know, some people that will, and we know who the people are on the YouTube, they'll deride, you know, the malt liquors and say, oh, it's so sweet, it's sickeningly sweet. Even the high gravity version is not sickeningly sweet. It's sweet. It's 3 out of 5. It's a sweet beer, but it's not overly sweet. I've drank Old English for 20 years now. I can tell you it is not cloying and is not overly sweet. 2 out of 5 bitterness units. 2 out of 5 hop cones. Okay, so 40% bitter, you know, in that relative sense. Yeah, what are the ingredients? Water, barley malt, corn syrup, dextrose, and maltose. This is brewer's syrup. Now, there's a pretty good explanation of what that is on the Moosehead Beer Academy website, and they're saying brewer's syrup is not like the corn syrup you're going to buy at the grocery store, the K-Row and those kind of things. It's a odorless and tasteless syrup. It's used, you know, you don't buy it at a store. It's sold wholesale to brewers as a filler, and that's been done in America for, you know, like really over 100 years. So when people say, ever since they started using syrup, blah blah blah, you know, the brewers, the brewmasters like Dr. David Ryder at Miller will roll their eyes and say, this is a very old industrial product. Okay. They say, well, it's not a craft beer if it's an industrial product. That's true. It is not. It has never claimed to be. No one in their right mind ever thought it was a craft product. And you know, you get this kind of back and forth animosity between the craft beer camp or faction and the macro faction, specifically the malt liquor faction, and they scream and holler at each other. I'm glad that I can kind of run with both camps because I do the craft beer reviews constantly, and I do the, you know, the malt liquor thing. So yeah, I like to tap the bottle, label out. I was at Valero gas station, and they had the 40-ounce bottles, and they were plastic, and I said, I just cannot go there. I've got to buy the 18. I'm just going to stick with 18-ounce glass bottles from now on, and yeah, they'll be a little skunky. I don't think they're using Galena hops with the Old English or Mickey's or any of those. I guess they figure most Old English 800 drinkers are going straight out of the bottle and can anyway, and they're not really giving some, you know, they're not doing a point-by-point taste and aroma assessment anyhow, so the skunkiness factor wouldn't really come into play anyway. Whereas with Miller High Life and Miller Genuine Draft, it might. More than likely it wouldn't, but it could. So, for a warm weather beer, and like I said, springtime is yeah. It's dynamite. They say a hoppy finish. You know, it's not hop stupid in the finish. It's not, you know, hoptimum in the finish, but it is there. You know, I mean, there's a hop note. They're using hop extract, you know, water, barley malt, dextrose and maltose syrup, and hop extract. So, you know, they're not using wet hops from the cliffs of Utah during Indian summer, but you know, Miller Brewing Company has the moolah to command what they want to command. So yeah, they might be using hop extract, but it's not garbage hop extract. Okay, it's like really good hop extract, and they're buying this stuff in such a volume that they can buy quality ingredients for a pretty reasonable price. You're just not going to get your Boxer Ice, your Frio Light flavor and aroma notes with something like a Miller beer. And let me say this to you. If I'm going to drink a macro beer, I really do gravitate towards malt liquors, and let me tell you why. They have the body, they have the boldness, they have the sweetness. You know, they have all the taste and aroma characters that you look for, and they're not dull. You know, I was saying to Rajay, I said, you know, we were talking about craft beers, and he was doing Sweetwater, and I said a lot of those beers are just dull. And I was naming a bunch of craft breweries like Abita, Sweetwater. I'm trying to compensate. That's why I'm being very enunciated in what I say, and careful with the T's and the S's. But Sweetwater, Abita, Boulder, Magic Hat, Shipyard, Shiner. You know, these Samuel Adams, if you will, these macro craft beer companies. You know, you pay a lot, but, and this is dangerous territory, and I approach this with some trepidation, but, you know, not really, because I do these reverse sort of like, you know, fire starting topics. But they're all good, but they're sort of dull. And he said, I don't think they're dull. I said, you know, think about it. I've been drinking beers for over 20 years, and you get used to things, and you start doing the long march through the beer brands as I've done. And I mean, frankly, it's like hot sauce. A lot of it is not that hot, and it's kind of dull. And if I'm paying a pretty good amount of money to drink a beer that's good, enjoyable, has character, has descriptors I like, but yet when you really sit down and think about it, isn't really, I know I say the word really a lot because I really love to say that word really do, but you know, you say, oh, you know, it's all this, it's all that, it's these 17 different things, but then at the end of the day, as we like to say on NBC, Meet the Press, at the end of the day, it's not that much better than Blue Moon or Shock Top, and then frankly it's, or objectively not really better than Blue Moon or Shock Top. You start to resent it. It's like, why did I pay all this money? And you know, I could be drinking Old English 800 that does have character. And you know, you're going to take it all wrong and say, ah, oh, you're attacking, you know, you're in their, you're on their payroll. Yeah, okay, all those brands that I'm talking about have character, they have flavor, they have, you know, intricacies that vary to an extent. But then you say, well, so does this. This kind of does, you know, if you drink, you know, across the sip, this has those little notes. And then John Sharon, you know, he's always drinking Busch Light, and I'm like, why is he drinking that? You know, like, I'm rolling my eyes, and it's like, all right. But I started drinking the Busch Light, and I was like, you know, if I sit down for a little while and I'm not trying to be a jerk for a few minutes, Busch Light does have these things. It has these things that John's talking about, and that I would, like, you know, roll my eyes about. It has these things. And this beer, you know, I read the descriptors there. it has all those things they're talking about. It has the fruitiness. Banana and pear. You know, the brewers at Miller, SAB Miller, they're reaching for things too. You know, like it does have some of that. It has the hoppy finish. It does have some things going for it. So anyway, you know, it's like I can go on forever. But the purpose of this video is the people are saying malt liquor, malt liquor, malt liquor. I hear you. I took Maria's advice. So here it is, a malt liquor video. $1.59 for Old English 800 brand malt liquor. Yeah, it's not going to change. The last thing is some of the video reviewers, they watch this and they get furious. It's like they get angry. It's like, why would you get like literally angry that I, who am nobody, I'm a nobody, right? It's like I make videos. Wow, he works at a grocery store. Yes, I do that. He retired when he was 42. Actually, I was 44, but all these things, you know. It's like, but why would you care? It's like, I'm not important. I'm not an important person. So why would you care that I make malt liquor videos? It's like, this is not important. We have big problems in this world. War, crime, budget problems, you know, the sanctity of life, etc. And we're worried about this guy from Louisiana. I literally never heard anybody say that word, Louisiana. But you know, regardless, why would you get angry that somebody is sitting in their backyard making endless and not at all important videos about various macro and micro beer brands? I mean, there's a lot of things in the world to be angry about, and beer videos ain't one of them. So, but you know, whatever. I've always approached it as it's a big beer family. We're all hanging out, drinking beers of various types and having a good time. Everybody doesn't approach it that way. I don't care. I swear, I don't care. I really don't care. I care about you watching. I care about you commenting, because it's people in my family will not sit there for 30 minutes and talk about video, you know, beer. But people I've met online will do that, and that's the really approachable part of it. And you know, you're gonna get people that are hung up and have a lot of negativity and like anger, and I don't have any anger, I swear. The Pope, you know, Pope Benedict 5.9, but Pope Francis said he declared this is a year of mercy. We have to be merciful. You know, it's like, you know, come at me with hate, and I want to come at you with love, joy, forgiveness, mercy, happiness. I'm going to drive on a road trip to come see you. We can hang out, go to brewery tours, visit breweries, whether it's Dogfish Head or Miller, you know, and we could drink 120 IPA, or we can drink Old English. It doesn't really matter. It's like, it doesn't really matter, boo.